The concept of the tree of life is perhaps well known in folklore, mythology, and religious stories all throughout the world. Nonetheless, in biology, there is a slew of death trees that are ready to wreck on any human who comes into contact with them. Let's learn about the top 20 most dangerous trees in the world. Suicide tree. The Cerbera odolum, known as the suicide tree, when exposed to a lethal dose contained in grain, the poison causes symptoms such as burning sensations in the mouth, severe vomiting, irregular breathing and heartbeats, unconsciousness, and death. It is commonly seen among coastal salt marshes and coastal wetlands in India and other parts of Southeast Asia. It's the perfect poison that can kill a person in an almost untraceable manner. Nightshade. Legends say that Macbeth's men poisoned the invading Danes with wine prepared from the dangerous tree's delicious fruit. Nightshade includes atropine and scopolamine in its stems, leaves, berries, and roots, which produce paralysis in the body's involuntary muscles. Indeed, the delicacy of the berries often entices youngsters and unwary adults to ingest this poisonous plant. The deadly nightshade is a native of forested or waste regions in central and southern Eurasia, with dull green leaves and glossy blackberries the size of cherries. Gimpy Gimpy. If you get in contact with its heart-shaped hairy leaves, you risk having a serious allergic response, severe wounds, and massive urticaria. A steroidal treatment is the only option for relief from its horrific pain. It is found in rainforests near the Australia's northeast. If you touch it, you risk developing severe allergic responses. Not even traditional forms of protection, such as gloves and a half mask, can protect you. It is so harmful that it causes severe itching and large hives. If you thought a bee sting was painful, you definitely haven't been stung by a Gimpy Gimpy. Ohio Buckeye Tree. This buckeye tree is beautiful and noble, but it is also dangerous to humans and animals who eat any part of it. That's correct. Except for one, reportedly, every component of the plant, from the leaves to the bark to the fruit that falls from its branches, is exceedingly poisonous to all living things. This hazardous plant may be heard in Stony Ridge Farmer. Farmers have been known to remove buckeye trees from cow grazing grounds in order to prevent animals from consuming any of the tree's parts. Wolf's Bane. Also, monk's hood and devil's helmet throughout history, since the ancient Greeks to poisonous weapons of the Nepalese, have used it to halt ibex, and Inu of Japan have used it to hunt bears, and the Aleutians of Alaska used it to hunt whales. Although merely touching or smelling it is not enough to be dead, but it typically occurs within 2 to 6 hours of consumption. This crazy flower is found in mountainous locations across the northern hemisphere. European Yew. It's widely distributed throughout Europe as well as Asia, reaching as far as the Himalayas. With its branches spreading out and up, it can measure up to 30 meters. We can find a deadly substance called toxin in most parts of this tree, except its berries. The intoxication mechanism is tricky, since it is asymptomatic, which may lead to think that you are fine, only to die a few hours later. Nest is lily of the valley. All parts of the plant are poisonous, particularly the berries that have a particularly attractive look, reason why you shouldn't let children around it. It was used by Walter White to poison Brock in Breaking Bad. Location is all across the northern hemisphere. Mountain laurel. Located in the United States, its green parts contain the grayanotoxin and arbutin that can be fatal when consumed enough. Bees frequently make honey from it, which can make you sick if you eat it. While this isn't a problem with commercially produced honey, it's something to consider if you eat locally produced honey. The Cherokee people have used it as an analgesic in the past. Milky mangrove. This poisonous plant can cause severe skin irritation and temporary blindness if it comes into contact with the eyes. Because this poisonous plant grows in the same way that shrubs and trees do, it is important to recognize it. It is characterized by light, dense, and pale woods. The leaves are primarily oval in shape, with a pointed apex, rounded at the base, and often finely dented on the edges, and are attached alternately to the stems. But the main distinguishing feature on this mangrove is the milky slender that escapes from the plant when the branches or leaves are broken. Strychinine tree. Strychinine, it is the most abundant natural source of Strychnus nux vomica, which is once available in the form of a pill and was used to treat a variety of human ailments. Strychinine may enter the body through three main routes: inhalation, ingestion, and evaporation of the skin, and are absorbed by the mucous membranes of the mouth, stomach, and the intestine. This dangerous plant may be found in southern Asia, including India, Sri Lanka, and Indian subcontinent, and Australia. The poisonous derivative of this tree is seed and bark. The Manchineel. A little apple of death grows on this harmless-looking tree, yet it is the most dangerous tree in the world. His fruit is known as the Manchineel, also known as the beach apple. It is a tree with fruit and leaves that resemble those of an apple tree on the surface. All parts of the tree contain strong toxins, some of which have yet to be identified. The tree has a sap that contains forabol and other skin irritants. If you put it on your skin, it will cause severe allergic reactions or dermatitis. Staying under an elm tree during the rain will result in skin clot. Water hemlock. The next dangerous tree was responsible for the death of Socrates. This dangerous tree has been dubbed the most virulently toxic plant in North America. The water hemlock, a wildflower in the carrot family, resembles the lace of Queen Anne and is sometimes confused with the parsnip or the edible celery. However, the aquatic hemlock is laced with a lethal secutoxin, particularly in its roots, and can quickly provoke dolorous convulsions. Stomach cramps, nausea, and death are common, and those who survive frequently suffer from amnesia or long-term tremors. Sandbox tree. This tree, which is native to North, Central, and South America, is known for its deep brown spikes that cover it from base to crown and function as nature's deadly grenade. Indeed, when its fruit is ripe, it explodes violently, sending grains in all directions up to 40 meters out at speeds of up to 240 kilometers per hour. When she comes in touch with your eyes, she might cause redness and blindness, just like the milky mangrove. Bunya pine. Immature pine trees grow like pyramids at first, but as they mature, they can take on a dome-like look at the top. The cones resemble pineapples, but they are considerably larger and heavier. This is the source of the difficulty for unwary humans. The cones, you know, may weigh up to 6 kilograms, 13 pounds, and grow to be larger than a person's head. Consider that it's free falling in the last days of summer, and a passerby may be in great danger if it strikes. White snakeroot. White snakeroot, a seemingly harmless plant, was responsible for the death of Abraham Lincoln's mother, Nancy Hanks. White snakeroot is a poisonous, alcohol-containing North American plant with flat-topped clusters of tiny white blooms. Nancy Hanks was poisoned by merely sipping the milk of a cow that had grazed on the plant, unlike individuals who have perished from directly consuming poisonous weeds. Indeed, the toxin may be passed to humans through poisoned cattle flesh and milk. Loss of appetite, nausea, weakness, abnormal blood acidity, and mortality are all symptoms of milk poisoning. WAIT-AWHILE-VINE. The name is a reference to the fact if you fall on it, you will end up entangled. If you ever find yourself wanting to go on a hike in the country's North Vine, the north of New South Wales, and the south of Queensland, you should keep an eye out for the wanting vine that looks like a polymer and is covered in pointy hooks. Even if it isn't lethal, it may cause a great deal of pain, so never touch it. Castor oil plant. But first, do us a favor. Click that like button to inspire us. Subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell and you won't miss any interesting videos. Done then? Let's go. Castor oil, just a handful of this plant's seeds, are enough to kill adult males. The seed contains castor oil, which is one of the most effective poisons known to man. In fact, it has been listed as the most poisonous plant by the Guinness Book of World Records. Even its pollen is 10 out of 10 in the Opal's allergy rating. Just approaching the plant can cause allergic reactions, while actual contact with the plant can cause skin rashes, found in the Mediterranean, North Africa, and India. Devil's snare. Also known as angel's trumpet, the devil's snare has one of the scariest effects. Hundreds of people have been hospitalized in the U.S. each year. The scariest case was of a teenager who, after drinking some tea, amputated his own limb because of the state of delirium the plant puts you in, leaving you unable to tell fantasy from reality. The cherry and its relatives. Cherry trees, especially for little children and pets, may be exceedingly deadly. Peach, plum, apricot, choke cherry, and other plants of this genus cousins of cherry trees. They all release molecules that are eventually metabolized into cyanide. When it comes to cherry trees, these compounds may be found all throughout the plant, but notably in high quantities on fallen and wilted leaves. If a child or dog consumes just 1 or 2 leaves from the tree, they will have a terrible stomach pain, and if they eat more than that, they will almost certainly get cyanide poisoning. Which is the most dangerous tree? Have you ever seen any of them in real life? Let us know in the comment section below. Like always, if you enjoyed it, be sure to give us a big thumbs up and leave us some love in the comments section. Keep up to date with all of our awesome videos. Be sure to hit subscribe and turn your notifications on to never miss a thing. Until next time, do take care of yourself.